What if the stuff you're going through right now isn't even about you? Raise your hand if you're a grandparent. What if what you're going through right now is to exhibit faith for your grandchildren so they'll understand the God that you serve in their older age? What if what you're going through on your job right now has absolutely nothing to do with you, but the unsaved coworkers that are waiting to see how you as a saved person are going to handle the situation? What if right now the marriage problems that you're having have absolutely nothing to do with you, but how you handle it as a married couple that happens to know Jesus? And for the unmarried folk and for the married folk that are watching how you handle it to understand, because marriage is God's example for our relationship here on this earth. So what if it's not about you? In modern vernacular, you'll hear it said on social media a lot of times, say it for the people in the back. Sometimes the storms we go through in life have absolutely nothing to do with us, but for the people that are in the. So there was importance in the others, or Mark wouldn't have mentioned it. There was something significant about the people in the back, or Mark wouldn't have mentioned it. But even more importantly, if you pay attention to the story, there is no line where Mark says, we made it, but they did not. What if I told you that if you look at the first boat, it represents the church? Okay, Little Grove, let's talk. What if I told you that the first boat had the apostles in it? What if I told you the first boat had Jesus in it, and it represents the church? And then everybody else, all the other small boats, because ain't nothing bigger than God's church, are following. What if I told you that the society that we're in right now is watching to see how we handle social injustice? What if I told you that right now all the other boats are watching to see how the church handles the storms of life when they come? If we're going to handle them the right way, or if we're going to act just like the rest of the world does. But so that I don't leave you feeling like we were here and it was a sermon of somehow me saying we ain't getting it right. No, I think we are. Or we wouldn't be here today. Because there is hope in the storm. I want to suggest to y'all on today that the pulpit is where we get our hope. Because Jesus stood on that pulpit and he was able to say, peace, be still. It says that he rebuked the wind and the waves obeyed. But you got to understand something about that. He rebuked the wind because the wind was causing the problem with the water. And the water then stilled itself. Jesus stood in the pulpit and commanded things to go back to how they should be, because he always was intentional about the fact that they were to go to the other side. And sometimes we need to understand that whether you're watching online or you're in the building, that it's this place right here. It's the pulpit that gives us our hope from week to week. It's the pulpit that gives us our hope from day to day, not because of a man, but because God established the pulpit. Thank God for a word that comes from leaders to empower us. Thank God for people who understand the assignment and come to make sure they get the marching orders and go back outside to let other people know what they found out in here. Thank God for examples standing in the pulpit like Pastor Ralph Richardson and Bishop Kim W. Brown to let us know what God is saying to his people in 2022. And thank God that he has given us spiritual fishing boats and spiritual pulpits so we can tell the world about a sovereign God that can take us through a storm. But God declared the end first and then worked his way back. So God has a way of equipping us before we even need what he equipped us with. So he gave us a pulpit, but just so I can give you some biblical examples, he saw times happening in your life before they happened. Look at it like this. He gave Moses a rod before he parted the Red Sea. He gave David a slingshot before he slayed a giant. He gave Jesus pots of water at Cana before he turned water into wine, because God knows how to equip us. God knows how to make sure we have what we need to get through the storms. What you need to understand on today is that you've been anointed for the forecast. I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what you're encountering right now. I don't know what you're going to go through when you leave this place. I don't know what you're going to go back to when you get to your house on today. I don't know what you're going to go through when you get to your job on Monday. I don't know what you're going to go through when you go to school on Monday. I don't know what you're going to go through when you go to your meetings here at this church. But what I do know is that you are anointed for the forecast.